Yeah, thanks, Nico. Just to reflect quickly on Toronto, another performance where we start the game the right way, have opportunities to get a second and third goal. Didn't have that killer instinct, and paid for it in the end. We aren't making the key plays that it takes to turn ties into wins or losses into ties right now. It hurts. Again, as the leader, I take responsibility for that. But we still have to focus on, for long stretches of the game when we do good things, reinforcing those and then eliminating the big mistakes that have cost us this year. We will face a New England team that is also hungry for points. We recognize now it's been far too long since we've had a win in this building. Again, we'll need our fans to continue to be amazing and support us. We'll put a team on the field that is experienced, that knows each other, that knows the right way to play, and we've pushed this week to have them just be us. Again, we still can have mistakes, we still can have difficult stretches of a game, but let's be us and let's play our way at home in front of our fans.
Jesus is training today. He's all good.
Yeah, Jesus is battling a pretty serious ankle injury. Like I said last week, things taped up almost like a cast. I had to wear actually 2 different shoes in training just to get a little more width on a Nike versus Adidas shoe. That'll get me in trouble there. But he played through pain, got to a point in the game where he had to come out, but he's jumped back into training and still will be available for selection.
How much has Jose been able to train?
Yeah, Jose's been able to train this week fully. He comes off of Copa America where it's a little bit surreal when you look at a lot of the selections to, players of the tournament. He's in that 11 on a lot of them with a lot of players that are, world class. So it shows the level that he can play at. Again, he's a guy that when we're going good, he's dominating that center part of the field. And, the challenge now is as good as he was in the Copa America, now can we take that and just give us that in the middle part of the field, win the ball, connect his passes, because there's no one better when he does the simple things perfect. And we'll need that tomorrow against a strong New England team.
And what's Andre's stats?
Andre's back. So, again, you can feel a little more of a buzz, a little more energy at training, a familiar voice behind them, and that gives confidence. That's not a knock on the other goalkeepers at all, because Andre's the best that we have in this league at what he does. Not dissimilar, like I say to you guys, to Bawanga or Mukhtar or Bernardeschi. When we get him back, he's one of our best players, and we've been without him for a very long stretch. So to get him back, I think the confidence that gives not just the back line but the whole group that you're never out of a game is really, really valuable.
Jim, how do you have conversations with a guy like Andre as you're waiting for him to come back off of an injury? Every week seems to be getting closer and closer and closer. What are some of those conversations like about when you come back, here's what we need you to do, here's how we need you to kind of come in and subjugate things for us?
Yeah, look, I put my hand up because I look at the beginning of the year, and he played through some painful things with his groin, with his knee, and he pushed through them to try to help the team. And I maybe should have prevented that, or maybe said, let's get you back to 100% rather than, pushing him to play. So right now, though, we found the problem. He had the surgery. He's rehabbed it as aggressively as he does as he attacks a training session, the right way with the right mentality. He's one of our leaders. He speaks now so much in the locker room. He's also a leader by example on the field. So to have him back in the group is really, really valuable. He's a guy that I owe a ton to. The success of this club has been a big part of Andre Blake and what he's brought. And I think what happens with so many great players, we forget and we take for granted what they do for the group. So even when we were winning games 5-6-0 a couple summers ago, nobody remembered the 3 big saves Andre would have at the beginning of those games, right, to keep you in it. It's just an afterthought and forgotten. They just think, oh, wow, that was an easy one for the Union. It's like, no, we could have lost this game if those 2 or 3 balls go in the goal. So he does all those little things that, again, we think are easy, and they're not. So to have him back is really, really special. And I said it to the whole group, though, too, today. We do it, get a lot of guys back now from a couple guys back from international duty, a couple guys back from injury, a couple guys back from getting fully fit. But that does not guarantee that tomorrow is going to go perfect, right? Because there's still going to be rust. There's still going to be guys that haven't played together in a while. But the thing I did stress is let's be us. Whatever we do, let's do it our way, stick to what we believe in, do the simple things perfect, eliminate the silly mistakes, and do it working as hard as you can for the fans. And the rest will sort itself out. So that's the message. There's no button I can press now and say, let's go, we're going to win 11 games in a row. But to get these guys back, I think, is important to the whole group for that confidence, in the whole thing.
Anything else in the room?
Jim, I guess with you guys formally being in last place,
Yeah.
I wonder if that's something you guys process at all this week, or if that just kind of confirms things that you guys have already felt about how this season is going. Does that add any extra pressure to anything?
Yeah, look, you guys know, I think I'm always honest and open with the media and with pressure and when we're good. I give the players credit, but this week I did say to them, that table behind me, as I talk to them, it sits in plain sight, and we put it up there when we're in first place, and it stays up there when we're in last place. So it tells the truth. And our reality is now, do I think we're the worst team in the Eastern Conference? I don't. I really don't. I think that if you look at all the one-goal games that have gone against us and we haven't found a way to win, those were games that we always found a way to win ugly or find a way to get results in past years. Right now, everything's going against us. So I don't think we're last, and I don't think we're the worst team. But right now, that's what the table says. So 11 games are left. I still think we can make the playoffs. It's going to be hard for sure. We've set ourselves and put ourselves in a tough spot. But I also know what this group is capable of. And when we do get on a run, and if we do get into the playoffs, there's not a team in the Eastern Conference that would pick us to play against either. So we know what we're capable of. We have to do it, though. The talking part is kind of over. We have to execute on the field, and I believe we'll get a good response tomorrow.
Do you think we could see Kevin in the matchday 20 tomorrow?
Yeah, look, like I said to the media last week, and it got a little twisted, and it was just a miscommunication. I don't think it was anything malicious, but he was supposed to travel to Toronto. There was some child labor laws that prevented that from happening, and I think that got taken as I was saying he was going to debut in Toronto. It wasn't debut. It was just to travel with the group to get used to the different things, being in a hotel, being with the first team on the road, all things he can certainly handle, but it's good to go through that process. And now, yes, tomorrow he will be in the 20. Because he's earned that. If you look at his performances in the Union 2 games, the goals that he scored, we are missing a few guys. Obviously, Vasquez goes away. You have McGlynn and Harriel away as well. Kevin's earned the right to be in the 20 if you just go through the numbers, and he'll get that opportunity now. And the next step is working hard to get your first minutes. And sometimes that might be 1 minute, that might be 15 minutes, that might be 90 minutes, but you have to earn it. And I think Kevin understands that and recognizes it. When we're at training, there's still 2 or 3 moments during a training session where he does something where you go, okay, I can't teach that. That's something that's ingrained in a young kid, that his talent is elite. Whether it's a little side volley pass that goes right into space for a guy, or finishing a play around the goal. He's doing that now against top pros. Still has a ton to do to work and improve, but again, he's earned the right to join the group in the 20, and we'll see how tomorrow goes.
We can go to Zoom.
We can switch over to Zoom. Joe Dancy.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Hi, Joe.
Back to Andre. How do you think that changes, if anything, how the center backs play? Is it just a familiarity thing that they're used to him being there, or do you think that's going to take 1 or 2 games for them to just get back on the same page in game action?
Yeah, look, I would just say you can remember it, Joe, and Matt's in here, Karith's in here, the thousands of times where a ball gets whipped into the box and you just see those arms go up and calmly catch a ball. The relief that puts on a center back is so valuable, guys. So again, he's one of the best at it, navigating traffic in the box and just coming out and catching the ball clean, and the danger is gone. Again, I talk about those plays you don't remember and you think are routine. It's hard to do. It's hard to do throughout all of MLS. You see goalkeepers struggle with that. So that simple action gives such confidence in center backs. It then translates to the six in the midfield and then the strikers who know that, keep going because the guy behind us is going to, bail us out when we need him to. So it's really, really important. It's really valuable. And I think you'll see both Jack and Jacob's game take a step forward. Just the same way that I look like a better coach when all of our best players are here. That's the reality of things. It's the way the sport is. There's no excuse for the way we've lost games. I own that, and I take responsibility for that. We've lost them in painful, excruciating, awful fashion sometimes this year. But we've dug ourselves in this hole, and now we have to fight our way out of it, and that's the hard part.
Are you thinking about keeping with the back three? You mentioned Jack and Jacob specifically there, but how do you manage that now with the multiple games this week?
Yeah, look, I think when I say back to basics, I think you guys know what I mean by that, and the formation and the personnel that we'll use there. Damian has a little bit of an ankle issue as well, and we do have 3 games this week, so we'll have some rotation in the group. We'll have some fresh legs in the group as well, but we'll worry about Nashville after tomorrow. But we have some ideas and a plan in place for each game.
Was it Inez?
Hi, Jim. Good afternoon. In your tenure with Philadelphia and in really previous positions as well, you've seen or helped players move from unknown quantities to MLS starters, from obscure international players to starters of their nations. Now with the 3 Union, 2 current, 1 former that are representing at the Olympics, what goes through your head now that you see that, or what went through your head when you found out that they were going to be a part of this, very, very special squad?
Yeah, in again, what's been our hardest season to date for me, for the players, there still are little positives you can point to. So please don't take it out of context. But I am proud of what Jack McGlynn has done this season. Proud of the strides that Nathan Harriel's taken. You look at Paxton going there and having a good season. Obviously, Frankfurt loaning him out and him doing well and finding his rhythm and form. So to have those 3 guys represent, the Philadelphia Union in the Olympics in France and the biggest stage, it's a great stepping stone and platform for them. Hopefully they perform well and come back with even more confidence. So our homegrowns have played the most minutes in MLS this year. We recognize we haven't gotten the wins that we want. But it is good for those guys to see them get better, take a step forward, and really earn what is a really tough roster to make. Only 18 spots on that Olympic team. 2 of them go to goalkeepers naturally, so only 16 field players. It's really not easy, and it speaks to the quality seasons that those guys have had, and then the trust that the coaches at U.S. Soccer have in them.
Thank you. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
Charles?
Hey Jim, following on Jose's question, I'm writing about the Olympic guys too, and seems like this is a kind of a global spotlight for the Philly Union Academy and what you guys had to do to develop players. And I'm curious as to how, in this case it's a kid from South Jersey, a kid from New York, and a Florida kid who are sort of like profoundly Philly guys and represent that city and the ethos of the city. How do you guys do that? Yeah, it starts with our academy, and maybe, Charles, the biggest thing that I think separates us that doesn't get talked about enough is the school that we have here. So we can look parents in the eye and say, yes, we want your child to play in Subaru Park and be a top professional for the Philadelphia Union. That is the goal for all of them. But the reality is only a very, very small percentage can do that. But what we can promise is they are going to get an education that not only sets them up for college, but sets them up for life skills. It's not an ordinary school. The job that the teachers do there, the way that the kids are able to look you in the eye, shake your hand, stand up and present in front of a classroom,
it's literally the opposite of the school that I grew up in. I love Bishop McDevitt, but we didn't learn the things that are taught that are real life skills and life preparation that these kids get. So I think that's our biggest separator right now. We remember all the days of the old IMG Academy, and maybe I'll just say the academic curriculum maybe wasn't quite there to set you up for moving forward quite like our school is now. As time goes by and our league gets better and the academies grow in this country, you're seeing amazing soccer from these young players. But what I think really separates us is the job and the work that they do in the school. So you see now a kid like McGlynn, come from outside to our environment. Nathan come from Florida to our environment and live in that school environment and grow and learn and get better. Paxton as well. You had Brendan Aronson and Mark McKenzie and Trusty and all these guys that have done a really good job. I think it makes our academy unique and special, and they're also great soccer players, so that makes the coach's job very easy.
Julian?
Thanks, Nico. Hi, Jim. New England has had much better results in their last 10 games.
Yeah.
What have you noticed in their recent run of form since the last time you faced them that has stood out to you?
Yeah, look, unfortunately for them, Carlos Gil has a big injury, which, you talk about a player of his quality, an MVP type player. Caleb's done a great job navigating a ton of injuries, the guys in, guys out. It's really hard to get in a rhythm. You saw them when they had their full group of guys go on a pretty good winning streak there in this league. They've had some injuries since then and setbacks. So again, it's been tough for them, just like it's been hard for us. But I still know that Caleb's an incredible coach. He'll have his group ready to go. Veroni's come to life. But some of the injuries they've had to a great player like Gil, like Chancale, they have Barrero. They've been hurt and they've been missing. So it's tough when guys aren't there to just find ways to win. So they're missing some talent for sure. We're missing a couple guys as well. But you certainly see a group that is dangerous. They have great attackers in the outside in Bai and Jones, who are defenders, but will get forward and get into your box and create some problems. They have really good wingers that are comfortable coming inside. So it's a team that has some real weapons. We have to be organized. We've had some tough games against them, obviously, in the past, and it'll be a really tough match.
JD, welcome.
Hi, Jim. Good luck. Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
With all of the revolving door in the midfield, with players being injured, players going out, players coming back, one of the players that's kind of been lost in the shuffle was Jeremy Rafanello.
Yeah.
Rafa had a great game against Busquets and held him in check, and that was one of the positives from that Miami game. But he hasn't really seen the field very much since then.
Yeah.
Is there an injury or some other issue, or what's going on?
No, Rafa's had a really good season, and he's been very professional. As you've said, probably hasn't gotten the minutes that he feels like he deserves or likes. He wants to be a starter, but he's trained great, works hard. I wish everyone had his mindset and mentality to bring it and bring the max every day, whether you're with the starters, whether you're with the reserves. He trains the same way regardless. So he's done some good things for us. He's been the odd man out a few times and has had decisions go against them, which happens in the pros. But yeah, Jeremy's a guy we certainly trust, and I think has had quietly a good season, played more minutes than in past years and has gotten better. But you're right, he probably deserves a little more than the minutes that he's got. But we have to make decisions, and if he's called upon tomorrow, I know he'll be ready.
And final question will go to Tom Lewis.
Thanks, Nico. Jim, you talked about it at the beginning, just how you guys have struggled to really build on that one-goal lead this season. You guys aren't creating the chances, but for whatever reason, it's just hard for you guys to get that second goal. When you go back and analyze the film, is there anything you're noticing, or does it just simply come down to being more clinical?
Yeah, look, I think you guys remember the plays in the first half, right? A lot of little 3v2s, 2v1s, where the weight of our final pass, goes to more towards the sidelines when it just needs to be in front of a guy. Sometimes we're passing when we should shoot. We're shooting when we should pass. And the decision-making hasn't been sharp enough to have that killer instinct that you talk about. Again, I worry most, though, when we're not creating chances. We still have scored enough goals this year. I've said it to you guys. I think we've scored up towards the top in the league. At one point, we were top in the league in goals on the road scored. So that's not our problem. It's keeping the ball out of the back of the net, and hopefully tomorrow with a good team effort, yes, we can keep it. Starts with keeping a 0, and then 1 goal is enough. I hear you, though, that second goal sometimes can be the best defense. A third one would be great, too. But it starts with defending well, keeping a clean sheet, and I think then the results will take care of themselves.
All right, thanks, Jim. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.